Mike Schiller has always been a hoops addict of the highest degree, but he didn't always play this far below the rim. 12 years ago, his life started to change.
Thought he had a back problem, so he went and got back surgery, and our impression was that that was going to fix everything.
Surgery relieved the pain, but not the symptoms.
And the doctor says to Don, is your husband always this spastic? Don looked at him
like behavior-wise?
Yeah, kind of. He kind of is.
In fact, Mike would soon be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a nerve-destroying disease that, as of today, has no cure.
We were driving away, and I was in tears, and Don was in tears, and we had to share it with our kids.
The physical deterioration with MS is gradual and unrelenting. It has robbed Mike of almost all the feeling in the left side of his body.
Very little feeling, very little muscle mass.
And yet, overcoming his ego proved even harder than overcoming his immobility.
He was willing at that point to go look, but he wasn't going to get in a chair.
I can tell you, Steve, the lowest point for me, the absolute lowest, and I'll never forget it, but I was in an airport, and I was running behind for a flight, and I'm not moving very well, and I took a spill. I mean, I go over, my backpack goes flying, I'm flat on my face, and all of a sudden there's a crowd of people trying to help me up. And all I wanted to say was, get the heck off of me. Leave me alone.
For a gym rat, not being able to run and gun is bad enough. For a gym rat with a hoops-loving son, it is worse.
It's still hard for me, as Marcus doesn't remember, I'm going to get teary-eyed here, doesn't remember me playing basketball. And it hurts a little bit to know that he never got to see that part of me.
It's been hard just because I know if I was in his shoes when I'm older, that'd be the hardest thing for me, you know, not being able to play sports with my kid. It's hard also for me, not being able to play with him. 2 years
ago, his wife finally convinced Mike to try out wheelchair basketball. And wouldn't you know it, the moment he started bleeding was the moment he started believing.
My chair and I went over, and my head split open, and got a nice, number of stitches here. Everyone around me is like, oh my God, it's a pool of blood on the ground. And I remember thinking, I'm a friggin' athlete. I'm competing,
Just a year later, Mike Schiller is competing for Team USA in the World Maccabiah Games in Israel, essentially the Jewish Olympics. It's true, his life is different than he imagined. The on-court dynamic that defines so many father-son relationships has in some ways been reversed.
When Michael doesn't push himself, Marcus holds him accountable too. Sorry, you don't get any free pass just because you're in a wheelchair.
Of the biggest things I've learned from watching him is how to face adversity head on.
It wasn't a matter of just saying, oh, I've got MS, my life is over, or I'm giving up. We continue to fight. I want them to see that even with basketball, that I'm not giving up, I'm continuing to fight.